Hi friends, in this video we'll discuss about encryption and decryption of the config information, the config sections like connection string, application settings and others. So how we what is the tool that we have in the ASP.NET to to encrypting the information that we have in the Web.Config file. So let's start. So Microsoft provides two default providers that come up with the .NET. Okay, so the first one, the data DPAI, it's basically this. I would say like this is the core API that Microsoft uses itself for managing the policies in the local system or in the remote login system. So. And the second one is the RSA Protected Configuration Provider is basically using a RSA crypto provider in .NET. So RSA crypto provider that's come up with the .NET, and both these providers are using the base class, which is basically Protected Configuration Provider. Okay, so let me just highlight this one. So here is basically the base class for all these providers. So if you want to further to create more provider, or if your demand is to create your own provider, just go and just implement this the base class. So in this base class we have two abstract method, the encrypt and decrypt. So just go and just implement those override those abstract method in your custom provider. So in the last we will cover that the custom provider option as well in this demo. So let's go. So we have three steps to making to encrypting the information in the config files. The first step is identify the section which you want to encrypt, but here is the exceptions. Encrypt these sections. Except this section, you can encrypt any section that you have in the config file. So for encryption and decryption you need a key. So here is the two types of key. The first key is machine key container that that I have mentioned here, and the second one is user key container. The machine key container, here machine is a container, a key is a very specific to the machine. So the machine on which you are encrypting the data, the same machine key will be able to encrypt that data. So if your development machine has a machine key and you are encrypting that connection string, so remember, so make sure the same machine key is on the production. Then only that the connection string or whatever the information that we are encrypted on the development will work on the production. So there is a tool, there is a method through that you can just import and export the machine key, or you can just make separate machine the separate connection decrypted version, and just make multiple the web.config based on the debug and based on the release, based on the environment, and you can deploy accordingly. And another is user key container. The key is associated with the person who is decrypting, who is logging into the system and who is decrypting encrypting the information. The same user token will be used for encrypting and decrypting the data, the person who is basically encrypting the content. So make sure, so if you are using a user key container and then the process which is basically trying to access that the decrypted information and trying to encrypt that information, make sure the process is running under the same user. Like an example, ASP.NET is running by default in the network service account, and you have encrypted the connection string with your account. So here is a two account. The one account is basically encrypting the data, and the account which are trying to decrypt is different. So it will not. This is the point which I'm trying to make. So you have to change the ASP.NET process to run under the same user account on which you are you have encrypted the information. So here is the scenario, like when we will use the machine key and when we go with the user key. So if you have dedicated server and you have multiple applications on the same server and you want to share the same key with all the applications, just go with the machine key. But if you have hosted your application on the shared server and you want to make your application isolated with the other application, then go with the user key container. So this is basically the scenario that Microsoft has given, and here is the location which I am trying to just highlight here, and this is the location of the key, machine key container, and here is the location for user. So as you can see, like every user has like if your username is ABC or XYZ, then just go accordingly and you will find your user key there. And the third step is there is a tool ASP.NET REGIS which comes with the that comes with the every framework, like 2.0. if you have a 2.0, then go into the accordingly. So based on the application, which application the application in which you are trying to encrypt the information is based on the which framework. So choose the ASP.NET REGIS tool accordingly. Start with the simplest way first. So I'm under Windows Framework, .NET Framework 4.0.30319. So 4.0 framework. I'm under the framework 4.0, and this application is also created on using a framework 4.0. So let me show you and confirm it. Sorry, build. Okay, framework 4.0. So it's a confirm, and let's go with it. So ASP.NET, this is a tool REGIS, and here is basically the switch. So PEF. So if you have hosted this application, the web application, on the local host or in the IIS, then just go with the PE and just define the application, and this tool will automatically go and identify the virtual folder against the application, the web application. It will figure it out where is the Web.Config, and it will encrypt it. But in my case, I'm just giving the physical path of the Web.Config where Web.Config exists. So which section, the first thing is just define the which section you want to encrypt. So connection string which I want to encrypt, and here is the path. So in my case, path is so here is the path. Sorry, here is the path, and let's encrypt it. So let's see what happened. So now see, let's remove this one. This is coming from my default. So this is the connection string. This is the encrypted version, right? This is encrypted version that is coming after this encryption. So let's decrypt it, and for the decryption, PED here is decrypted. So now the Web.Config connection string is decrypted. So this is the first option. This is the first way through that we can encrypt and decrypt the connection string. But the thing is, like I mentioned in the PPT, so we have a provider. We have two providers. So which provider we are using? We didn't provide any provider here now. So how it is working and which provider it is. So as you can see here, let me just open that machine.config, which is in the same folder, framework config machine.config, and you can see here like config protected data, and the default provider is RSA protected provider. So if you are not mentioning provider when you are encrypting the the config section, it will go and identify through the machine.config which provider is going to be used for this encryption and decryption. So So we have figured it out which provider is basically working in this case if we are not providing a provider. Okay, now go with the second option. So the first option is through the tool. Okay, now the second option which I have already in here is just because of the time, you have created a method, two methods, protect section and unprotect section, and I'm just opening this in a config file through the WebConfigurationManager, and I have just taken it out that the section, that same section, and I checked it out, that section is protected. If it is not, go and protect it and just save it. So this is the protection, and which I have noted down in the page.load event. Just let's run it. Just run it and just see. So the as you can see, Web.Config is now encrypted. So so the second option is you can encrypt the any section of your Web.Config through the coding as well. So what if somebody try to use this connection string? So what I'm doing here is, like a normal process, I'm just reading the same application and the connection string and trying to write it down in the just trying to just just flash it on the wave, so that we can just show it what value is coming if the value is encrypted in the Web.Config. See, we have encrypted Web.connection string, but when you read it, it will automatically decrypt it and will give you the correct connection string, right? So now you can use it wherever you want. Now the same way, if you want to unprotect it, so I'm just using unprotection, just using the same, and the section, which section you want to unprotect it, and I'm just reading the config file, taking out that same section, checking out if it is protected, then go and unprotect it and save it. Let's see. Correct. So my Web.Config has been changed. See now. So this is the second method. Now the third method that we will use is the custom provider. We will go with the custom provider. This is the code, the custom provider. This is my class name, and I'm just using the same base class which I have mentioned in the PPT, ProtectedConfiguration_Provider. Just go and just dig into it. What are these? We have two abstract methods, decrypt and encrypt, and again we have some base class here, like go and provider base. This is the final, you can say like that. So this base class is again using this provider base, and then the implementation part is here. So the only this is encrypt and decrypt, and rest methods are just supporting this encrypt and decrypt, suppose there is a key file, or there is a the key that we will this implementation is going to be used for encryption and decryption purpose. So I have just created it's not said because this method is basically creating a key file, so that you can just make a safe place and use use that key file and just pass it from outside when you are using this this third party this custom provider. So this is the code, this is implementation which I have downloaded from the MSDN. If you go on this site, here is the site, so you will see that Microsoft has already given a sample, so I have used the same sample here and try to just cover all the related things in one video, in one tutorial. That's why I have just copied it and pasted it, because I told you, like, the objective is to just put everything, every related thing in one video. So here is the basically custom provider. So now we have a custom provider, but for using, you need to sign this, you need to register this provider into the GAG, and go in the signing section and sign the assembly, and if you want to go and create a new the key file and attach that key file here and just build it. So build is it's working, and this this assembly that is now signed, and now we have to just register this assembly into the GAG. So we have a tool like GAG util I, and just provide this assembly. So let's install it into the GAG I and the assembly name. So here is the assembly. Okay. Here is the assembly .dll. Now that assembly goes into the GAG. Now I'm able to use this provider in my web.config. So but okay, so GAG, okay, fine. So the next thing is we need a key for I have just mentioned while I'm just going through the code, like for you see here, like it is looking for something like a key file path, and for encryption purpose they are using that key as well. So because they are using this encryption. Okay, so now we have just registered the assemblies. Now we want a key file, because we have to pass the key file, and we are not using any hard-coded key in this. Okay, so here is basically a console application, and this application purpose is to basically just create a file. So I'm just using that same provider here, and there is a one method which I have already show you here, like create key. So it's basically creating a key, and this key is going to be stored and on the target file wherever we want. So let's first create a key. To that place cd, sorry, okay, right. So key creation.ex, key creation, and where we want key2.txt file. Yeah. So now the key file is created at this location. Go in this, here see this key2. Here is the key, and this is the key to encrypt the string, encrypt the information, and decrypt the information. So you know how important is this key for encryption and decryption. Let's go to that location, our location basically. So let's now we want to use our own custom provider. So first thing is what are the things that have to be here. So we have already mentioned this, so I'm just copying it from the machine.config, and let's keep it here, and we just removed this one, just remove this one, and what I want is case the type is here this is the type protection, sorry, dot, this is the type, this is the provider, here is the assembly name. Assembly name here is, go to this place, copy it. I'm just trying to so the version is 1.000. If you want to know how did I find it, so how I find it, so go to this place and see that this is the assembly version. So I have just insert that, and here is the most important thing is the public token key. We don't have any public token key, so how we can just retrieve the public token key from the assembly that we have created, or the assembly that is signed. So this is the signed assembly. We want to extract the public token key from this assembly. So here is the tool, assembly tool, and just provide the assembly path. So here is the basically the public token. So let's select all and go to here. Yes. So this is the basically token. So this is the token. Let's remove it. All this information we want to get it. The one more important thing is the key file path. We need to pass a key file. So here is the field. Let's pass the key. Key 2.txt. Here is the key which will be used for this encryption and decryption or for this provider. So this is all the configuration that we have to do for the custom provider. This is a one-time investment basically for an application, and now we want to use the configuration. Okay, we want to use the encryption. Okay, so this is the encryption, right? And we want this time I want to use this provider, the provider which I have mentioned, the provider name which I mentioned in our config.file. So this is a Custome-provider. So let's go and just press it and see encryption decrypted. As you can see here, this time this encryption is based on the provider that we have, on our custom provider basically. So so this is basically the third third way to doing the same thing. But definitely if you are customizing the provider, then you have more option, you have more control over decryption and encryption. So sorry, actually we are trying to decrypt it, so we do not need any. So see,